So today's video we're going to be using this, and we're going to show you how to measure for an air awning and the potentials of things to look for. If you've not already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and drop us a comment if we've got it completely wrong. So let's get on with the video and give you our take on how to measure for an air awning. So if you're looking for an air awning, and they do a full air awning that will go completely all the way around, but today we're looking at an air awning that's just going to fit in the top rail. So it's literally going to fit into this top rail and then come out off the Caravan, so it doesn't attach to the back or the front rails of the Caravan. And these are normally measured in 250, 260, 300, 350, 4 meters, and there is some bigger ones out there as well. But what these measurements are referring to, when we've got a 260, so that is actually 2.6 meters. So if I go off that back rail there just for holding my tape measure on this little van, it is quite a little small van, to be fair. It's a little Sprite Alpine 4, but we've got 2.6 meters, so literally that is the size of a 2.6, and they normally come out, I think it's about 8 foot, isn't it? And again, they will sort of range, so about 2.4 meters is probably about the average there or thereabouts of depth that they'll come out from the Caravan. But again, that will be a 260 by 2.4, or it'll be a 3 meters or a 320, or even a 4 meter, which is about there. Now, realistically, when we are measuring for this Caravan in particular, I would potentially be looking at a 3 meter awning, which, if I go straight off the back rail, so the end of that tape measure, 3 meters comes to about there. And the reason that I'd be looking at a 3 meter air awning for this Caravan, let me put my tape measure in so it's not making too much noise, is when we look at our top rail, what we're trying to do is measure from the straight part of the rail. So you'll see from about there it curves round. So really, if we go for anything longer or anything that's going to come past this point here, we're starting to lose our head height, because we're going to curve round and cause problems with the air awning. So we're going to measure really from about there, so that point there, and then to our straight point. So again, roughly about there. And also what we want to consider on this one is that if we go around about here, the thickness of the tube is normally about 10 centimeters, 10 or 12 centimeters. So that tube should sort of sit quite nicely down the side here, or the flap of the air awning should sit down there. So we shouldn't really lose any of our window. So a 3 meter, how much have we got there on our curve? About 25 centimeters. So if we measure 325, is there.
Not big enough.
Well, the 3 meter then, obviously, because we've took off our 25 for the curve. Exactly, yeah. So it'll sit there perfectly, and we've got enough room at the back. So on this particular one, a 3 meter would be ample. That would sit in nicely. So realistically, if it was me, I'd be sort of saying a 3 meter is about the maximum sized air awning that I want to go to on this one. If we look at a different van, so we've got this Pageant Burgundy. Now this throws a whole different thing into the pit of measurements, really, because from here to here we've got a bit of a slope, but it is still quite straight. But I think, again, if it was me, I'd be measuring from about there, so it drops down. We can always pull this handle out so it'll drop down there nicely, or even just tuck it behind there. That shouldn't really cause any problems. And then we've got all the way to the back. So if we measure, again, we've got about 25 centimetres to where the curve is at the back. So whatever measurement that we get up here, we need to add 25. So we've got 4 metres there and we've got 425. So we could actually get away, if we take our 25 centimetres off there, we've got 4 metres. So a 4 metre air awning on this one would work quite nicely. And again, that is how you're going to be looking if you're looking to measure or get one of those measurements that, take measure away quick so it's not making too much noise. But that's how you're going to measure it. So if you're looking at those sort of 4 metres, a 425, a 360, a 3, whatever measurement it is, that is how you're going to measure the Caravan. So straight rail, as straight as possible. Bit of a curve down like that you can get away with, but as soon as we come to a sort of a steepish curve like we've got there, we need to come back quite a bit from there. If you can get it where it's falling in between windows, so again a 4 metre should just drop this side of this window and then that side of the door, so fits really nicely. So again, it's just measuring your specific Caravan. If you've not got a tape measure, I'm pretty sure that you will, but we'll put a link into the description at the below for our little Amazon shop. Ground sheet, again, you're going to need to measure. So if you've got a 4 metre by 2.4 metre air awning, you're going to need a ground sheet that's just slightly bigger. Go for very slightly bigger. I think they're normally sort of probably just over 4.1 by 2.5 metres is the sort of size that I'd go for that type of air awning. So again, it's just making sure that you've got the right ground sheet for the right awning. Double check your measurements of your air awning and then just go slightly bigger over on the ground sheet. They will normally come, if you're buying a brand new one, they'll come with a draft skirt. So again, that will just be the size of the actual awning that you've gone for. So again, they'll just fit as normal. Some people will put press studs in. I like just the Velcro because again, normally you can just take the Velcro off. They do a proper rail that can go on, and if you're going to put a rail on to hold that draft skirt, you're going to have to make sure that it's sealed in properly before putting holes and screws into there to hold that in. So just a few considerations. If we've missed anything, we will do how to measure for a full awning separately, and that will cover sort of your main normal seasonal awnings or even a full air awning, but we'll measure that in a different video and show you how to do that. If I've missed anything or there's anything that you think, oh actually when I've come to measure it I've had to consider this, that or the other, let us know in the comments.
Battery boxes and stuff,
yeah, so again, just different things like that. So again, the only thing that you're going to have to think about is if you was to go for one there, you're going to lose that bit of storage. Is that a problem? It's not a big job to sort of take your pegs out the bottom there and pull that open and then put your tent pegs back in again, because normally sometimes you can buy a pole that will go down that side, but majority of them on the air awnings, they will just literally peg out at the bottom and the material will just sit against there. So it's not a big job on something like that, but it just depends. If you're going in and out of that locker all the time, then it's something that you're going to have to think about. Make sure that you're not too close to the door, because if you're too close right on the edge of the door, you might have problems opening the door, because again, they will slope down a little bit, so you might have an issue with the top of the door hitting the awning if you're right up against that edge. So if you've got a little bit of leeway, that works quite well, but majority of the Caravans, they'll be set out so that you've got enough room between the window and the door frame to actually be able to drop the panel down there and open the door okay. As I say, if I've forgot anything or there's anything that you would advise differently, let us know in the comments, because again, it just helps everybody then if they're looking at getting an air awning and how to measure. Hopefully it's been useful. If you've liked it, hit the like button, drop us a comment, and don't forget, hit the subscribe button. Thanks, I'm Mark at the Caravan Place.